Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash. This is OrcQuest, and it's time for another character spotlight. This time, the beautiful Amazorc Ranger, THALLA. Don't get too close or she'll crush your skull between her thighs like Sparrow's egg. THALLA has support range, which means heroes at range 1 do not block THALLA's line of fire. This would be, as usual, an awesome homebrew ability for, say, the elf in HeroQuest. She has the keywords ranged and agile, and her starting stuff includes a bow. Her miniature, portrayed in all its glory, features her standing triumphantly Captain Morgan style on a fallen piece of driftwood while she flexes her abs at the enemy in an attempt to get them to run away in fear before she has to pull out her bow and show them what spiked punch really means. Look at the sword she's packing too. The enemies? Look around the floor. Spelling is not an orc's strong suit, and neither is quality control, I think. She doesn't have the sword, not as part of her starting stuff, it's just on her miniature, as these things happen. Her starting stuff, a meager bow, provides her with ranged 2 through 6 on the roll of a gray die. I may have called this black in a past video, but this is a gray die. And if your character has ranged, which she does, you'll roll an additional white combat die as well when attacking. THALLA's got 2 events that get mixed into the events deck, one good, one bad. First is My Kill. THALLA performs an attack on an enemy in line of fire and adjacent to a hero. I saw him before you. And Disturbed. Ooh, enemies who are not adjacent to a hero turn towards THALLA. Oh no, my pheromones have dispersed again. I like that a lot. No, I'm falling in love with the beautiful orc lady. But it's not hard to do. Have you seen her miniature? Look at those irresistible little tusks. What are orcs but tall goblins? Enough being creepy, you creeps. THALLA has 3 free unlocked skills, including Move, which is a movement of 7 on 1 action, or a movement of 10 if you spend both. This is a little bit more lithe and mobile than other starting heroes so far. Combat, which is an attack on action, and with 2 actions, attack plus brutality. Pretty standard at this point. And Eagle Eye, which is a badass card. On the cost of 1 badass point, boost attack plus piercing. Oh, that's violent. Ugh. Some people say you can look but not touch, but THALLA believes that you can't look either, so there's that. Share this video within the next 60 seconds or you'll look like this at 3 a.m. in your sleep tonight. THALLA has a cavalcade, a plethora of 10-point badass skills that we will look at now. One is a passive called Stealth Shot. THALLA's attacks gain ferocity if she isn't in line of sight of an enemy. Then, a badass card called Point Blank. At the cost of 1 badass point, boost attack. THALLA can target an enemy at range 1. Oof, that's going to be dangerous. Protective Shot. At the cost of 2 badass points, you can react before suffering an enemy attack. THALLA swaps places with a hero at range 2, then counterattacks. You'd have to be sure that there is a hero within range 2. A badass card called Skewer. At the cost of 1 point, boost attack plus skewered. Then, an attack card called Distraction. At the cost of action plus 1 badass point, THALLA forces an enemy group in line of sight to turn in another direction. Nice. I wonder how she does that. Probably just like throws a rock across and then the advancing party turns because they heard the rock. Stamina plus 2. This would be a really great card to add to your loadout as soon as possible because THALLA doesn't have a lot of stamina to begin with. Hit and Run, an action card. At the cost of an action, movement 4 plus attack during movement. Pretty standard goblin ability if I do say so myself. And finally, an action card called Combat, which just adds another combat card to your loadout. Her 20 badass point skill cards include Multi-Shot, an action. At the cost of an action plus 2 badass points, 2x attack, and action plus 3 badass points, 3x attack. This being a combo 2 card, this is really valuable to have for immediate crowd control. Save it for when your patrol level gets pretty high, for when the alert level is in orange or red. Striking Shot, a badass card. At the cost of 1 badass point, boost attack plus push 2. This is an arrow that is heavily fired that knocks an enemy quite a ways away from where they were originally standing. A reaction card called Safe Shot. At the cost of 2 badass points, dodge, then counterattack. I love abilities like this implemented in the game. And finally, an action card called Hit and Run, which adds another hit and run to your loadout. As a general rule, if you do have the option of buying a card that costs less than another card and they have the exact same ability, go for the one that's cheaper. Obviously, there's no benefit to going after the one that's more expensive. You're just wasting badass points unless you are in what you know to be a much easier mission and you're not going to need to accumulate so many badass points. Perhaps it would be more beneficial to spend the cheaper amount of badass points in a mission that's a bit tougher, where you really need to save those badass points for special moves and to utilize the more specialized skill card. The coveted 30-point badass card for THALLA. Every character has one, and this one is an action card called Amazork Pheromones. At the cost of an action plus 5 badass points, the nearest patrol or enemy group loses its next activation. Very useful. She has a very particular set of skills, and the proofreaders have a lack of a very particular set of skills. Come on, is she an Amazork or an Amarzork? That's enough. If you want to see more, then we'll look at the heroes past these first 4 initial heroes and extend the series into the rest of the cast of the heroic group of OrcQuest WarPath. So smash the like button and share the video and subscribe, and do it now, or else you're going to look like this at 3 a.m. Oh wait, this is the pheromone card. This is a good thing. You probably disturbed. Oh, why?